If you've ever found yourself lying in bed, exhausted but wide awake, unable to quiet your mind or drift into sleep, you're not alone. In the silence of night, when the world grows still, our inner restlessness often grows louder. Thoughts multiply, worries intensify, and sleep feels like a distant dream rather than a natural refuge. It is during these vulnerable moments that Buddhist wisdom offers a gentle light in the darkness, reminding us that we do not need to struggle, chase, or force our way to rest. Instead of seeing sleeplessness as a problem to fix, Buddhism encourages us to meet it with mindful presence, to understand the roots of our suffering, and to respond with compassion and awareness. In a world that glorifies speed, productivity, and control, many of us carry this pressure even into the night, hoping our minds will suddenly switch off when our bodies lie down. But the Buddha taught that true peace arises not from controlling the outer world, but from quieting the inner one. The very act of surrendering, letting go of control, judgment, and expectation, is the doorway to restful sleep and emotional freedom. In this video, we'll explore how centuries-old Buddhist practices can support your journey toward restful nights and calmer days, without the need for pills, screens, or scientific jargon. Through the principles of non-attachment, you'll learn how to gently release the mental burdens that cling to you as you try to fall asleep. You'll discover how to use the breath not just as a physical function, but as a sacred guide that leads the mind home to stillness. We will walk you through a simple yet deeply healing body scan meditation, an ancient method that brings awareness to each part of your body, helping release tension, ease restlessness, and invite deep surrender. Most importantly, you'll learn how to transform the act of sleeping into something more than a daily routine. It becomes a mindful, spiritual practice. Each night can become a sacred ritual, a moment of connection with yourself, a space where you lay down the weight of the day not out of exhaustion, but out of wisdom. Especially if you are over the age of 40 and beginning to feel the deeper fatigue of life's many responsibilities, work, family, loss, aging, this practice is a balm for the soul. Sleep disturbances often increase with age, but so does our capacity for insight and gentleness. The Buddhist path does not ask you to be perfect, it asks you to be present. This offering is not a promise of instant sleep, but an invitation to create conditions for peace, to soften your nights and awaken your mornings with greater clarity. Tonight, we begin not with struggle, but with stillness. We invite you to dim the lights, settle your body into a comfortable position, and let your breath begin to guide you. This is not just a video to watch, but a moment to experience, a quiet return to the self you may have forgotten in the noise of daily life. With each breath, each word, and each pause, may you feel more grounded, more held, and more at ease. You are not broken. You are not failing. Your sleeplessness is not an enemy, it is a teacher, inviting you to listen more deeply. And through the timeless teachings of the Buddha, you will learn that peace is not far away. It is within you, patiently waiting. Let us begin our journey into the first and perhaps most transformative teaching, the Buddhist approach to letting go of worries, expectations, and control. This is not merely a philosophical idea, but a lived, practical path that can ease our restlessness, especially in the quiet hours of the night when sleep feels just out of reach. In Buddhist tradition, many stories illustrate the pain of clinging and the peace that follows release. But one powerful story begins with the Buddha himself, long before his enlightenment. As a young prince named Siddhartha, he was surrounded by every luxury, comfort, pleasure, and a carefully controlled world crafted by his father to shield him from all suffering. But one day, Siddhartha left the palace walls and saw for the first time the realities of aging, illness, and death. These experiences shattered the illusion of control that had been so carefully preserved around him. Despite every effort to prevent discomfort, suffering had found its way in, as it always does. It was then that the prince realized that true peace could never be found by manipulating the world or avoiding its difficulties. It had to come from within, by understanding the nature of life itself. He renounced his royal life not out of despair, but out of deep curiosity and wisdom. He wanted to discover a way to live without fear, without clinging, and without the constant need to shape life into a particular form. That journey led him to enlightenment, and along the way, he discovered a great truth: that all suffering is rooted in attachment. Attachment to how things should be, to what we desire, to the way we believe life must unfold. In our own lives, especially in the stillness of night, we often find ourselves trapped in these same loops of mental grasping. We lie in bed thinking about what went wrong during the day, what needs to happen tomorrow, or what might go terribly wrong if we don't hold everything tightly together. But the more we try to control our thoughts or suppress our worries, the more tightly they grip us. The Buddha's teaching gently invites us to do something radically different: not to fight the thoughts, not to fix them, and certainly not to force them away, but to release them. This is the essence of non-attachment. It doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we stop believing that we must control everything in order to be safe or at peace. The Buddhist path teaches us that all phenomena are impermanent: our thoughts, our moods, our fears, our joys. They all arise and pass away like waves in the ocean. When we can witness these waves without trying to hold them back or push them forward, something remarkable happens. The mind begins to settle. Worry and expectation lose their grip, and sleep arrives not as a reward for effort, but as a natural unfolding of calm. When we lie awake, unable to sleep, it is often not because we are physically alert, but because we are mentally entangled. We may be clinging to a conversation that didn't go the way we hoped, or an unfinished task that still weighs on us. Perhaps we're wrapped in fear about the future, fearing illness, aging, or loss. These thoughts feel urgent, but from the perspective of Buddhist wisdom, they are just visitors. They are not you. They are not the truth. They are passing clouds in the wide sky of your awareness. You are the sky, not the storm. Letting go does not mean pushing them away. It means acknowledging their presence with kindness, and then gently allowing them to float on. One way to do this is through a soft inner phrase: "This too, I can release." Repeat it gently to yourself, like a lullaby. With each breath, soften the grip. With each exhale, allow your thoughts to rest like fallen leaves on a still pond. The Buddha often used the image of a lute to explain balance. If the string is too tight, it snaps. If it's too loose, it doesn't play. In the same way, our minds must be held with neither force nor neglect, but with a gentle attentiveness. Let your inner state be like that well-tuned string, calm, balanced, receptive. This practice is especially meaningful as we age. With the accumulation of years comes an accumulation of worries about health, family, regrets, and the unknown. But the truth is, we never had full control. And the more we age, the more we are invited to make peace with that reality. Non-attachment is not passive, it is the most active form of wisdom. It allows us to sleep, not by solving every problem, but by understanding that we are not defined by our problems. As you prepare for sleep tonight, notice what you are still holding. Are your thoughts clenched like a fist? Is your breath shallow with effort? Are you mentally rehearsing or resisting? What if you didn't have to figure it all out right now? What if peace was not something you had to earn, but something that comes when you finally stop chasing? Buddhism teaches us to return to the body, to the breath, and to the simplicity of this moment. Let the shoulders drop. Let the jaw soften. Let the heart rest. Whisper within, "This moment is enough. I am safe to let go." Through this compassionate letting go, sleep becomes an act of trust, not struggle. And even if thoughts return, as they often do, you can meet them not with panic, but with presence. The Buddha's wisdom doesn't ask you to silence your mind, it asks you to sit beside it with patience and love. Over time, this changes everything. The night becomes not a battleground, but a sacred space of soft surrender. And the deepest sleep comes not when we force ourselves to rest, but when we finally allow the illusion of control to fall away like autumn leaves, revealing the quiet stillness that was always there beneath. Now let us move into the part of this journey toward peace: breathing techniques that signal your nervous system to relax. This section is not just about breath as a function but breath as a doorway, a sacred bridge between the body, the mind, and the present moment. In Buddhism, the breath is not merely air, it is awareness made visible. And in our modern lives, we often forget to breathe fully. Let me share with you the story of a woman named Marlene, who lives in a quiet suburb just outside Seattle. Marlene is in her early 60s, a retired schoolteacher, living alone after her children moved across the country for work. Though her days are filled with small routines, watering her plants, feeding her cat, reading the newspaper, her nights were once haunted by worry. Thoughts of growing older, being alone, and not knowing what the future might bring used to tighten her chest every time she lay down to sleep. She tried herbal teas, calming music, even prescription sleep aids, but nothing offered the comfort she truly longed for: to feel safe, to feel held, to feel peace. One evening, while scrolling through videos on mindfulness, she stumbled upon a short talk about Buddhist breath meditation. Something about it spoke to her, not in a loud or urgent way, but like a gentle hand on her shoulder. That night, instead of reaching for a pill or replaying her worries, she sat up in bed, closed her eyes, and simply observed her breath. She didn't try to breathe right, she just noticed. Inhale. Exhale. She followed the rise and fall, the subtle sound of air moving through her nose, the expansion of her chest. And as the minutes passed, something shifted. Her body softened. Her thoughts slowed. Her mind, once a racing train, began to feel more like a quiet field. It wasn't dramatic, but it was real. Over time, this became her nightly ritual, a sacred return to herself. She no longer feared the silence of the night because she had learned to fill it with breath. "It's like having a friend inside me," she once told her daughter. "One who's always there, always steady." Breathing is the anchor of all Buddhist meditation, the sacred thread that ties the present moment to the body and the mind. In every corner of Buddhist teachings, from ancient texts to quiet monasteries, the breath is revered not just as a bodily function but as a spiritual companion, a gentle reminder that we are here, now. The Buddha taught, just as a skilled turner or his apprentice, in making a long turn, knows I make a long turn, or in making a short turn, knows I make a short turn, so too the practitioner breathes in and out mindfully. These words, from the Anapanasati Sutta, the discourse on mindfulness of breathing, are simple, yet they contain profound medicine. In the stillness of the night, when sleep eludes us and the mind spins in circles, we can return to the breath, not to fix ourselves, but to be with ourselves. This is the first step, awareness. You begin by gently closing your eyes, not to block out the world, but to turn inward. Without judgment, without effort, notice the breath as it is. Is it shallow or deep? Is it warm or cool? Where do you feel it? In your chest, your nose, your belly? Simply observe. Then, when you're ready, slowly begin to guide the breath, not forcefully, but like teaching a child to walk. Inhale for a count of 4, pause, then exhale for a count of 6. Let the exhale be long and smooth, like a sigh released after a long day. That sigh is your signal to the nervous system that it is safe. The body listens. The heart rate slows. Muscles relax. Your mind, so used to planning and protecting, starts to step back, giving space for something deeper, rest. You might imagine each breath like a soft wave washing over you, cleansing, cooling, calming. With each exhale, imagine the weight of the day dissolving. Let go of the argument, the email, the news, the aching worry. Not by pushing them away, but by allowing the breath to carry them, like leaves floating down a stream. If thoughts arise, as they often do, do not panic or try to chase them off. Instead, greet them gently, thinking, and return to the breath. This act of returning is not failure, it is the practice. Each time you come back, you build a bridge between the restless mind and the peaceful heart. And over time, that bridge becomes sturdy, familiar, trustworthy. In Buddhist tradition, the breath is sometimes referred to as a guardian, because it guards our attention, our calm, our return to center. Even the physiology supports this. When we extend our exhale, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, also known as the rest and digest response. It slows the heart rate, relaxes muscles, and quiets the alert signals in the brain. In modern science, this is called vagal tone, something monks have known for centuries without needing a single medical journal. They just knew, slow breathing brings stillness. As Marlene discovered, breath is more than oxygen. It is a kind of prayer without words, a surrender without collapse. It doesn't require belief or rituals, only willingness. Let your breath be your lullaby in the night, your tether to this moment, your lantern in the fog of overthinking. Even one mindful breath can bring you home to yourself. Try it now. Inhale gently, and exhale slowly. Notice what softens. Notice what releases. In that exhale is your freedom. And when you do this each night, not as a chore, but as an act of quiet devotion, you begin to reshape your relationship with rest. The bed becomes not a battleground but a place of refuge. The breath becomes your companion, not pushing you to sleep, but welcoming you to surrender. The world may still be chaotic, but within you, a calm space opens, one breath at a time. Trust this. Trust the wisdom of your own lungs, your own rhythm. Sleep, when it comes, will not feel like escape, but like a natural return, guided by the breath that has always known the way. Now let us explore a powerful body-scan practice to help you drift into sleep effortlessly. In the Buddhist tradition, the body is not viewed as a burden or an obstacle to spiritual awakening, but as a sacred vessel, a home for awareness, a field where wisdom can grow. The Buddha himself encouraged deep and kind attention to the body as a foundation for mindfulness, teaching that true spiritual practice begins where we are, with what we have, and most intimately, with our own physical form. The practice of the body scan is a beautiful and accessible way to embody this teaching. It invites you into your own body with gentleness, curiosity, and presence, allowing you to release tension not through force, but through loving attention. Begin this practice by lying down in a comfortable position, perhaps on your bed, with your arms resting softly by your sides and your legs uncrossed. Allow the body to settle, to be held by the surface beneath you, to surrender its weight to the earth. Gently close your eyes, not to escape the world but to come home to yourself. Take a few slow, nourishing breaths, inhaling through the nose, and exhaling through the mouth like a quiet sigh. With each breath, invite the body to soften, to be just as it is. Bring your awareness first to your feet. Don't try to change anything, simply notice. Perhaps you feel warmth, or coolness, tingling, pressure, or even nothing at all. Whatever is present, let it be enough. Breathe into this part of your body, and on the exhale, allow a sense of release. Imagine the breath flowing into your feet and out again, carrying with it any tension, any restlessness. Then move your attention slowly upward, ankles, shins, calves. Linger at each place. Breathe in awareness, breathe out tension. Let your presence be as soft and kind as moonlight. Continue this gentle journey upward through your knees, thighs, and hips. Notice the weight of your legs resting, supported, free from the need to do anything. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back. There's no rush, no goal to reach. Only this moment, this part of the body, this breath. From the hips, bring your awareness to the lower abdomen, a place where many of us carry emotion, stress, and the residue of daily life. Let the breath move here with compassion. On the inhale, sense the belly rising. On the exhale, sense it falling. Let it be a rhythm of comfort, like waves brushing the shore. If you notice tightness or discomfort, greet it with kindness. You are not here to fix anything, only to listen. Then, continue upward to the chest, where the breath flows in and out more visibly. Feel the expansion of the ribcage, the gentle movement of the heart space. Let each breath be an offering of stillness. If you feel emotion rising, grief, joy, longing, know that the body is speaking. Let it. The practice is not to resist, but to allow. From the chest, move slowly to the shoulders, where many of us carry invisible burdens. Invite those burdens to rest. On the exhale, imagine the shoulders dropping away from the ears, melting into the bed. Imagine warm water washing over them, soothing, releasing. Move to the arms, elbows, wrists, palms, and fingers. Feel the quiet life within them. Imagine your hands unclenching, resting like open flowers. Then, bring your awareness to your neck and throat, another place we often tighten without knowing. Breathe into this space, allowing it to open. If words, memories, or feelings arise here, offer them breath and compassion. Now move to the face. Feel the jaw, the cheeks, the eyes, the space between the eyebrows. Allow each part to soften, to be free of holding, free of expression, free of effort. Let the forehead be smooth, the tongue rest gently in the mouth, the eyelids heavy and calm. Let the entire face become still, like a calm lake reflecting the moon. And finally, rest your attention at the top of the head. Imagine a light touch here, like the whisper of a breeze. Sense the whole body now as one, still, spacious, relaxed. You have visited each part, not with judgment, but with care. The Buddha once said there is one thing that, when cultivated and regularly practiced, leads to deep spiritual intention. It is mindfulness directed to the body. This practice, then, is not just for rest, but for awakening. You are not abandoning the world when you scan the body. You are returning to what is real. The body is your companion, your temple, your teacher. And when we listen to it, when we soften into it, healing happens, not always in dramatic ways, but in quiet ones, a softening, a stillness, a sense that we are, after all, safe to let go. Sleep may come as a gentle visitor, not pushed or summoned, but welcomed into a space already prepared by presence. And even if sleep does not arrive immediately, know that this state of restfulness, this slowing down, this release, is already healing. The nervous system responds to kindness, to safety, to breath and awareness. When we scan the body with care, we send the message, you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to be. If emotions surface, let them move through you like wine through an open field. If thoughts arise, acknowledge them kindly and return to the body. The practice is not about perfect stillness but about compassionate attention. This is your time, not to perform, not to produce, but to return. The body scan is not a checklist, but a journey, a pilgrimage inward. And with each breath, each moment of stillness, you deepen your relationship with your own sacred being. Over time, this practice can become a ritual, a nightly refuge. Just like Marlene with her breath, you may find that the body scan becomes your invitation to peace, your lullaby of presence. No special tools are needed. No complicated beliefs. Just this body, this breath, this moment. You might notice that by the end of the scan, a wave of stillness has washed over you, not forced, but natural. Your body remembers how to rest. It only needed permission. And now, wrapped in this quiet awareness, you can let go even further, allowing sleep to arrive like a gentle tide, knowing you are held, safe, and whole. The body, once weighed down by the demands of the day, now floats in stillness. And you, dear listener, have come home to yourself. Let us now gently turn our attention to the deeply nourishing topic of how to transform sleep into a spiritual practice for true renewal. A sacred shift in how we view the hours of rest, not as time lost to unconsciousness, but as time lovingly offered to the path of awakening. On the Buddhist path, every moment holds potential for mindfulness, and sleep is no exception. It may seem unusual to associate sleep, a state where we release control, with spiritual growth, but in truth, sleep can become one of the most tender and profound times to deepen our connection to presence, intention, and inner peace. The Buddha once shared a story about a devoted laywoman named Visakha, one of his most faithful female disciples, who came to him with a humble question, "Blessed One, I wish to grow in wisdom and merit, but I have many household duties, children to care for, meals to prepare, elders to serve. How can I continue on the path while fulfilling these worldly roles?" The Buddha, in his great compassion, reminded her that the Dhamma is not bound by place or time. True practice is not limited to the monastery or the cushion. It is in how we breathe, how we speak, how we rest. He explained that just as one can eat with mindfulness or walk with mindfulness, one can also sleep with mindfulness. He described the practice of lying down with awareness, letting go with compassion, and using sleep as an offering of peace rather than a retreat from consciousness. The one who ends the day with loving kindness, he said, sleeps in peace and wakes in joy. This teaching, though gentle, is deeply transformative, for it encourages us to bring awareness even into our most vulnerable state, not with tension or expectation, but with grace. With this story as a guiding light, we begin to reframe our nightly rest not as an escape from the day's struggles, but as an integral part of our spiritual path. Instead of collapsing into bed from sheer exhaustion or scrolling through distractions until sleep takes over, we turn the moment of rest into a sacred transition, a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, where healing, reflection, and presence can flourish. Before laying down, we may dim the lights slowly, light a candle, or listen to calming sounds, signaling to the mind that we are entering a space of intentional rest. We might take a few deep, nourishing breaths and offer a silent intention, such as, "May this sleep be peaceful. May I release what no longer serves me. May I awaken grounded in compassion and clarity." These simple words, repeated gently in the heart, act like a seed planted in fertile soil. As the body relaxes, these intentions can guide the subconscious, influence the quality of our dreams, and nourish the deeper layers of mind. In monasteries, practitioners often reflect on their day before sleep, not as a way of self-judgment, but as a soft mirror held up to the heart. Where did I move with mindfulness? Where did I cling or resist? What arose within me, and how did I respond? This practice is not harsh or critical, but compassionate, like a gentle rain washing away the dust of the day. As we lie down, we may bring attention to the breath, feeling its natural rise and fall like ocean tides, and allow it to anchor the mind. A body scan can be helpful, softening each limb, releasing tension from the face, shoulders, and belly, and whispering kindness into every part of ourselves. Then, with each exhale, we can release worry and effort. In the stillness before sleep, we offer loving kindness to ourselves and all beings. May I be at peace. May others be safe. May all beings sleep in safety and wake with joy. This act dissolves the boundary between self and other, making our sleep a quiet offering of love to the world. Over time, such practices transform sleep into a sacred ritual, one that heals not only the body but the heart. The Buddha taught that mindfulness could be cultivated in every posture, sitting, standing, walking, and lying down. So why not welcome awareness into this most tender posture, reclining in surrender, trusting the earth beneath us, and letting presence hold us through the night? Even the quality of our dreams can begin to shift, becoming less agitated, more peaceful, even occasionally lucid, offering insight or release. When we awaken, we often feel not just rested, but renewed, as if sleep has become a temple where our spirit was gently realigned. And the beauty of this practice is that it requires no great effort, no achievement, only presence. It is a letting go, a softening, a return to what is already here. The Buddha described this kind of presence as the gateway to liberation, not through force or striving, but through gentle awareness and wise intention. So let your pillow become your altar, your blanket a robe of stillness, your breath a mantra of peace. Let your final thoughts be blessings rather than burdens. In doing so, sleep becomes not a break from your spiritual path, but a deepening of it. In your most vulnerable moments, you are still practicing, still awakening. And so, each night becomes a journey back to the heart, a journey without distance, carried on the wings of breath and kindness. Let your sleep be soft. Let your dreams be wise. Let your night be a teacher. As we come to the end of this journey together, let us take a moment to pause, reflect, and deeply acknowledge the stillness that surrounds you, not only in the room but within your heart and mind. What you have learned today is not merely a way to fall asleep, but a profound and transformative practice that invites you to awaken to peace, moment by moment. The teachings shared in this session, rooted in the timeless wisdom of Buddhism, are not only tools for better sleep but gentle invitations to cultivate presence, compassion, and grace in every aspect of your life. Through the practices of letting go, mindful breathing, body scanning with kindness, and transforming sleep into a sacred ritual, you have explored ways to soothe modern suffering and reconnect with your deeper self. These teachings remind us that rest and mindfulness are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they are intimately connected. When we embrace the art of mindful rest, we shift from seeing sleep as a mere physical necessity to understanding it as an opportunity for spiritual renewal and emotional healing. The beauty of the practices we have explored is that they do not demand perfection, nor do they require you to exert great effort. Rather, they invite you to show up with intention, to approach each moment with gentleness, and to trust in the natural unfolding of life. There is no need to force relaxation, no need to grasp for peace. Instead, the practice asks you to release what no longer serves you, to soften your heart, and to embrace the quiet space between thoughts and breaths. Every time you return to these practices, whether it's in the moments before sleep, throughout your day, or in times of stress and overwhelm, you are nurturing a deeper connection to yourself. You are training your mind to rest, to quiet, and to remain present. Mindfulness, as we've discussed, is not something that happens only during formal meditation. It is a way of being that can be woven into every aspect of life, even the simple act of resting. When you bring mindfulness to sleep, you begin to dissolve the boundaries between your waking hours and your resting state. Sleep no longer becomes an escape from the demands of life, but a continuation of your practice, an opportunity to refine your awareness, to cultivate gratitude, and to offer kindness, both to yourself and to others. Through these practices, you discover that true rest is not something that can be forced, nor is it something you can grasp at. True rest arises naturally when we stop striving, when we stop pushing against the flow of life, and instead, allow ourselves to simply be. In these moments of surrender, peace emerges, and with it, the deep renewal that we often seek. If, during this session, you found even one breath of relief, one moment of stillness, then hold that breath gently in your heart. Let it remind you that peace is always available to you, not only when you lie down at night but in every waking moment of your life. True mindfulness does not happen only in isolated practices. It is a way of being in the world, moment to moment. The Buddha taught that mindfulness can accompany us in every posture, in sitting, walking, standing, and even lying down. Each time you return to your breath, to your body, to your intentions, you are nourishing this sacred practice, strengthening your ability to remain present, even when the world feels overwhelming or chaotic. You begin to see that peace is not something outside of you, but something within you. And as you continue to integrate these teachings into your daily life, you will notice that rest becomes more than a physical act. It becomes a spiritual one, an offering to yourself and to the world. The practices you've learned here tonight, though simple, are powerful tools for spiritual growth. They guide you to slow down, to be present with yourself, and to approach sleep with reverence. Instead of approaching rest with a sense of exhaustion or distraction, these practices teach you to enter sleep as you would enter a sacred space, with calmness and mindfulness. Each night, as you close your eyes, you can set intentions for peace, surrender, and renewal, allowing these words to act as soft mantras that guide your subconscious mind into restful and healing sleep. Over time, you may notice that this approach to sleep not only leads to better rest, but also deepens your overall mindfulness practice. It allows you to witness your thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. You may even find that your dreams become more peaceful, more reflective, and more aligned with the mindfulness you've cultivated during your waking hours. As you move forward, remember that the practice of mindful rest is not an isolated ritual. It is part of a larger path toward a more mindful life. Every time you close your eyes at night, you are not only resting your body but also training your heart. You are inviting peace and compassion to settle deeply into your being, and this practice carries over into every other part of your life. The way you approach sleep is the way you approach all of life, with awareness, intention, and love. And as you continue to return to these practices, whether at night or during the day, you will begin to notice that peace comes more easily, that your heart softens more naturally, and that your mind quiets in the face of challenges. This journey of mindfulness and rest is not a destination but a process, one that deepens with time and practice. So, as we come to the close of this session, I encourage you to hold this practice close, to return to it whenever you need it, and to allow it to guide you gently through both your waking moments and your resting hours. Your practice is never lost. It continues to unfold, bringing new insights, new peace, and new clarity with each breath you take. And when you wake up each morning, you can carry this peace forward, knowing that you are beginning your day from a place of deep renewal. I invite you to share this video with someone who may benefit from this practice, someone who might need a moment of peace, a space to breathe, or a new way to approach rest. Just as the practice ripples out into your own life, it can ripple outward to others, touching those who may not yet know the calming effects of mindfulness and spiritual rest. Let this practice become a gift you give not only to yourself but to others in your life, allowing the peace and clarity you've cultivated to expand, just as ripples expand across a pond. May your nights be filled with peaceful sleep, your mind with quiet ease, and your heart with the open embrace of loving kindness. May you continue to awaken, not just physically, but spiritually, with each new day. Thank you for being present here with me. Thank you for trusting in this practice, for taking the time to nurture your own well-being. As you move forward, may your heart remain open, your mind at ease, and your life ever more aligned with the peace that resides within you. Until next time, rest well and awaken gently.